I'm an artist, you're an artist, we are all artists. Welcome back to Ethereal Arts Studio, everyone. I'm Juan Scribe and I'm so excited you're here. Today we're going to be painting based on Steven Spielberg's 1975 mega hit, Jaws. The materials you need are on the screen, as well as the colors. I will be using 3 brushes, basically small, medium, and large. So other than that, all you need is your creativity and imagination. Let's get going. So here to get started, I'm making a line using the large brush. It's royal blue, but it could be any shade of blue you have. Apart from that, we start making the shape of the shark, which I could only describe as the shape of an iron that you use to iron your clothes. So what we're doing now is painting the ocean. We start from the top down using the same brush and the same blue. At this point, what I'm doing is dropping a little bit of black on my plate, then I mix it with the blue to make a darker blue so that I could add it to the canvas, since I want it to be darker down there since there's less light hitting it. I'm also making sure that I blend the dark blue and the light blue by going over it with the same brush over and over again until the 2 shades blend a little bit where they meet. Again, here I'm just blending certain areas so that it'll be more seamless, so that it'll be a smoother transition from light to dark. I'm adding a little bit more of the dark blue to make that lower part darker, but once again I try to blend both colors or both shades together. So now we'll be painting that hapless woman featured at the beginning of the film, featured on the poster, and we'll be using the medium brush. We'll be mixing white, brown, and a little bit of yellow to get her particular shade. Of course, you're the artist, feel free to make it any shade you like. And before we start, I want you to take a deep breath and let it out. The shape that we'll be making will be sort of a backwards S, but it won't be too pronounced. And I just want you to have fun. I want you to relax. Make all the marks I make. So I'm still using the medium brush, but soon I'll be transitioning to the smallest brush. Once I do that, I will wash the medium brush really well with water and I'll dry it just as well. And here I'll transition to the smallest brush to make her hands and her feet as well as her hair, which will be brown above water and black under water. And now the main attraction, the shark. We'll be using the medium brush and the color blue, and we're going to make a series of lines, mostly arches, to make the shape of the shark's face and mouth. And here I'm adding some of the darker blue to the bottom of the shark's mouth, the chin. There's less light there, so it's darker. Now finally, an easy part. Just fill in the mouth of that shark in black with the medium brush after you washed it and dried it really well. So let's add some more of that dark blue to the bottom of the painting to make it darker. We want it to be cavernous, scary. After we apply the dark paint and blend it as we did before, we will then also add another coat of regular blue paint to the upper part of the water, or the medium part, to make that darker as well. Basically, we want the top of the water where the lady is to be the lightest part, and then it slowly, gradually transitions to a darker water. So here with the same big brush, I'm adding more regular blue to the painting as it goes up. And I did not wash the brush this time because the colors are alike and I want them to mix better. So I did not wash the brush. And I'm approaching the top of the shark by blending. The same method that we did before. And of course on both sides. Using a hairdryer is a great tip for drying your paintings. So what I'm doing here with the medium brush is a little bit unusual. I'm going to be adding a little bit of paint to it, blue. Then I'm going to dip it in the water to add a little bit of water to that paint. And then I'm going to wipe it off with a paper towel. It will leave some of that faint blue on it, which I use to spread through those areas that are still white in the middle of the shark. Here I'm taking some of the dark blue and applying it to some of the shark. See on the right side and also a little bit on the left, and on the underside of the mouth, on the chin area and the neck, chin underneath, and you just spread it thin so that it could cover the whole area. Let's paint the lady underneath the water. So we're taking blue, we'll wipe it off with a paper towel so that some of it will be left on, but not that much. And then we paint half of her, only what's underneath the water. You might need to do this 2 or 3 times. And now after we washed and dried our brush, the medium one once again, we dab on some white splashes. Let's transition once again to the smaller brush. Let's use white paint to better define her. Let's also use the small brush to add white highlights to the shark. There's light hitting that shark all over the place. We go back to the medium brush once again, wash it and dry it really well, and we use that dry medium brush to blur those highlights that we just added so that they may appear more natural. So we're getting there, okay guys? Let's use the small brush once again, wash it and dry it really well, and use it with black paint to paint one eye on each side of the shark's head, as well as 2 small nostrils. And now, the jaws. As you can see, I poured a little bit of blue there on top of some white so that the blue may be lightened a little bit. I'm doing this with the medium brush, but I'm actually going to use the small brush to apply the teeth, to draw those sharp teeth. So we're going to start off small. We could always add later if we need to. We're also going to leave a little bit of room between the teeth. And also we're going to leave a little bit of space between the tooth and the mouth to make it a little bit more natural. There's some shadow there. Some white paint, which I wiped off with a paper towel so that it will be a little bit left only, to add some more light on the nose of the shark. And I'm going to do something similar but with black to add some shadows to the shark. Now that shark, by the way, which was a mechanical shark, was nicknamed Bruce on set. Now, speaking a little bit more about the film, it was, by all accounts, a mega blockbuster, a huge success, top grossing film of its year, 1975, directed by Spielberg and starring Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss, and Robert Shaw as the 3 men who set out to catch or kill the shark. Now, the film didn't show the shark for the first hour or so, and that was by design. It was intentional to build up the suspense. Now, of course, some people don't appreciate that. One of my children, for example, says that the film is too slow. And I understand why he says that, but to me, it's still a terrific film overall, a masterpiece. I understand why the pace is how it is, and it set up the table for future blockbusters, including some of my favorites, such as Steven Spielberg's own Jurassic Park. And I wish I could say the same thing about the sequels, though. Part 2 was okay, but the less said about 3 and 4, the better. And as you saw there, I actually added some white highlights to the top of the swimmer using white paint and a small brush. And now I'm adding some brown to the hair to darken it. Although Jaws 4 did bring back Lorraine Gary, who starred as Roy Scheider's Chief Brody's wife, and who did a terrific job among the stellar cast in the original and in part 2. The film was based on the novel of the same name by Peter Benchley, and is widely considered one of the films that actually tops the novel. Let's take our small brush once again. Let's use white and add some light to the shark's right eye. It's on the left side, right? But so we're adding some light, hitting it. And we're gonna add some light to the other eye, but not as much because there's less light over there. So we wipe it off. Now it's a little bit softer, less strong. We're gonna do this also to the nostrils. The nostril that is on the side of the eye that we added more light gets a little bit more light itself. And that one, we wipe it off and we add it. So now we're going to add a little bit of shadow to the swimmer. So we're going to take some brown with a small brush to add some of the shadows. And now some more jaws, some more teeth. I'm making the blue that I use for the teeth a little bit lighter by adding a little bit more white to it. And these teeth are going to be on top of the other teeth. And this is on the top of the mouth, the top part of the mouth. So they are right over the other teeth. And finally, using the same brush, using the same lighter blue, some highlights to the rest of the teeth, both top and bottom. So thank you so much for painting with us. Everybody, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay safe out there. You're gonna need a bigger boat.